What is behind the veil of mysterious coding in the verses of the Quran? Why did God put this mathematical connection between the verses of the Quran? Hazrat Adam swore to God by which holy number? To hear the exciting answers to these questions, stay with us until the end of this video. The Holy Qur'an is the last divine book that was revealed to the last divine prophet Muhammad. He decorated the world with the light of guidance. This valuable book is besides the eternal miracle of Prophet Muhammad, pbuh. It was also considered as a sign of the truthfulness of his prophethood. Therefore, the miracle of the Quran has attracted the attention of Muslims since the beginning of Islam, and scholars and scientists throughout history have written many books and articles to defend the authority of the Holy Quran and prove its miracle. Referring to them proves this claim. These elders had a comprehensive opinion on the miracles of the Quran and have expressed various aspects for it. Also, it has been said that the divine word, in addition to eloquence, miracles of expression, has aspects of miracles that are unmatched in any other book, such as great teachings and knowledge, miracles of meaning, harmony and absence of differences, unseen news, precise scientific problems, miracles of science, artistic creations, etc. One of the emerging aspects of the miracle of the Quran, which has attracted the attention of Quran scholars in the last century, and many books have been written to refute and prove it, is the numerical miracle and mathematical order of the Holy Quran. Many authors are trying to prove the miraculous numerical and mathematical order of this divine book. In this video, we intend to conduct a research on this aspect of the miracle of the Quran. The theory of numerical and mathematical miracles of the Quran. This theory was first proposed by Dr. Rashad Khalifa and caused people's astonishment. What makes Dr. Rashad Khalifa famous in the world is the theory of numerical miracles of the Quran and the issue of the number 19 and the key to the cut letters in the Quran, which he discussed in his book, Mirjiza al-Quran al-Karim. He believed that the key to the miracle of the Quran is the number 19, which is equal to the number of letters in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. And he considered this verse to be the key to the eternal miracle of the Quran, which was revealed to the beloved Prophet of Islam by the angel of revelation. Therefore, he looked for examples of the number 19, or a multiple of this number in the Quran, and stated many Quranic examples. Also, in order to prove the miracles of the Quran, he started from the cut letters of the Quran, and to discover the meanings and secrets of the cut letters, he took help from the computer and reached some results in this field, some of which we mention. The ratio of the letter Q in Surah Q is more than all the surahs of the Quran without exception. The number of repetitions of the letter S in Surah S is more than any other surah in proportion to the sum of the letters of the surah. Also, the letter N in Surah Kalam is repeated the most in 114 surahs of the Quran, and so on. This work of Rashad Khalifa was welcomed by Quran scholars in such a way that there have always been debates to confirm or reject his theory of numerical miracles, and today many books have been written in this field. One of those who continued Rashad Khalifa's path is the contemporary Egyptian Quran scholar Abd al-Razzaq Nofal, who presented and developed the theory of the numerical miracle of the Quran in his book Al-Ijaz Numerical fi Quran, Al-Karim, and Mijiza al-Nujira wal Tarkim, and by saying some words, the key of the Quran and their repetition in the Quran extracted interesting points about this, which surprised everyone. Some of these are now mentioned. The word hour is used 24 times in the Quran. Also, 7 heavens is used 7 times, and the derivatives of farka 72 times in accordance with the hadith of the Prophet in the Holy Quran. The number of times the word man appears in the Quran is 24 times, and the number of times the word woman appears in the Quran is 24 times. As a result, not only is this sentence grammatically correct, it is also mathematically correct, that is 24 equals sign 24. The words world and hereafter are used in the singular form in Quranic verses equally, each one 15 times. The two words devil and angels are used separately 68 times in the Quran. The word life and its derivatives are used 145 times in the Quran, as much as the word death and its derivatives. Among the scientific miracles discovered in the Quran, which are confirmed by mathematical numbers, the following can be mentioned. There are 1389 verses from Surah Qamar to the end of the Quran. and the lunar year 1389 is equal to 1969, which is the date of the conquest of the moon by humans. Also, in Surah 19, Maryam, verse 57, mentioning the story of Prophet Idris, he says, "My dear, and we promoted him to a high position." 1957 is the date of human conquest of space. The Russian Sputnik spacecraft was launched into the atmosphere on October 4th this year. Scientific and numerical miracles discovered in some surahs of the Quran. In all animals, the number of chromosomes of male and female animals is equal, and the honeybee is the only animal whose chromosomal structure is different from other animals because the female bee has 16 pairs of chromosomes, while the male bee has 16 single chromosomes. And it is interesting that the 16th surah of the Quran, it is named after the bee. Also, in several places of the Quran, the word donkey is used together with the names of other four-legged animals, but only in 2 verses of the Quran, the name of this animal is mentioned alone. This animal has 31 pairs of chromosomes, that is 62 chromosomes, and these 2 chapters are chapters 31 and 62 of the Quran. Another point from Surah Al-Sajdah, there is a surah in the Holy Qur'an called Al-Sajdah, and the number of this surah in the Holy Qur'an is 32. Now, if we do some research and counting about prostration in the Holy Qur'an, we will see that the words related to prostration are mentioned in exactly 32 surahs. Also, the word prostration and its derivatives are mentioned 34 times in the Quran, which is the number of prostrations in the day and night prayers of Muslims. On the other hand, this blessed verse has a verse of prostration that says, "Only those believe in our verses, who, when they remember those verses, bow their faces to the ground in prostration, glorify their Lord, and do not become arrogant." Sajda 15. Another important point is that the number of this verse in Surah Sajda is 15, which means the number of sajdas. Sajdas are verses that are obligatory when reciting prostrations, which are also 15 verses in the Holy Qur'an. Can this numerical coordination be accidental? And the secret of that holy number that Adam swore to God to accept his repentance will be revealed at the end of this video. So stay with us until the end. Research on the beliefs of the Shiites of Imam Ali in the Holy Qur'an. Dr. Magdi Wahba al-Shafi'i, a preacher and professor at Al-Azhar University of Religion, has achieved interesting figures and numbers with his research, which has surprised everyone, and subsequently, he converted to Shiism. He proved the number of Shiite Imams through the Qur'an. Considering that the numbers and figures in the Qur'an are not without reason and have a specific purpose, such as the number of the word day, that is repeated 365 times, which is the number of days in a year, or the word city that is in the Qur'an. It has been mentioned 12 times that it is the same number of months in a year, and many other examples. According to this information, he conducted his research in this field and reached these interesting results. The word Imam appears 12 times and is the same as the number of Shia Imams. The word Imam, plural of the word Imam, in these verses is. The word Shia or its derivatives are mentioned 12 times in the Quran. The word al-Asma, infallibility, which Shiites believe that the 12 Imams, Fatima Zahra and Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa are infallible, is repeated 14 times in the Quran and includes the following verses. The word al-Qasa or al-Aba in the Holy Qur'an with all its variants is quoted by Salama, the Prophet's wife, in the books of al-Sunnat, Sahihin, which are 5 in number, including Prophet Muhammad and Imam Ali. And Fatima al-Zahra, Hassan and Hussein, peace be upon them all, which is mentioned 5 times in the Quran. Why in the Quran, the number of springs that Prophet Moses created for his people to drink was 12. Also, these words are found 12 times in the Quran, or they consist of 12 letters in the language of the Quran. Indeed, there are 12 Imams of Ahl al-Bayt, The number of letters in all the names of the 12 Shiite Imams is 12. Now let's pay attention to the wonder of the purification verse. Indeed, Allah is going to make me feel ashamed of the al-Bayt and to purify me and purify me. This verse has 47 letters, the number of letters in the following names, a total of 47 letters. And the secret of the holy number. Hazrat Adam had many blessings in heaven. He benefited from the blessing of knowledge, and knowledge as well as the blessing of closeness to God. God commanded Adam and his wife Eve not to eat from the forbidden tree, but the devil tempted them to disobey this order and eat from the forbidden tree, and God kicked them out of paradise. After Adam was expelled from heaven and landed on earth, he prostrated himself for 40 days and wept for leaving heaven and lamented so much that God taught him some words, and through those words he accepted his repentance. The words that caused Adam's repentance to be accepted. Quran narrates two prayers from Prophet Adam. One is in verse 37 of Surah Baqarah. After Adam ate from that forbidden tree, those issues arose. It is mentioned in the hadiths that God said to Gabriel, "Teach Adam these words, so that his repentance will be accepted." Gabriel came to Adam and said, "Swear to God like this. Say, 'O God, I swear to you by the 5 holy lights that I mentioned that you will only have mercy on me.'" By saying this, Fatab alayhi, God showed favor to him and forgave his mistake that, "Innahu huwa al-Tawwaba al-Rahim," God is very repentant and merciful. In Sunni sources such as Mustadrak Ali al-Sahihain, Volume 2, page 615, and Dar al-Manthur Jalal al-Din Suyuti, Kanz al-Umal, Volume 1, page 234, and in the Characteristics of the Prophet, it is narrated that Adam was told to say these 5 words to be forgiven. The numerical miracle and mathematical order of the Quran is not something that has arisen randomly and forcefully, but the thematic connection of the words and the proportion in the repetition of the words of the Quran, as well as the miracle of the number 19 and the symbols of the cut letters, have been based on wisdom and purpose, which today, by thinking about Quranic verses as well as the use of computers, have been obtained, and all these cases indicate the miracle of the Quran. Now, despite such a miracle in the Quran, which is beyond the power of all human beings, how is it possible that these verses were issued by an ignorant and uneducated person like Prophet Muhammad? Therefore, the Quran is a divine and heavenly book and an eternal miracle of the last prophet of Islam, which was revealed to all the worlds. Dear friends, please give us your comments about the reason for this numerical miracle of the Quran. And why did God ask Adam to swear to those 5 people to accept his repentance?